second by Luthans, to approve today's consent agenda. Is there any discussion? We'll then proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Moving on to, very swiftly moving on to jail. Do we have, there we are, Will.
Good morning.
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 I'm here today for one item. It's to get approval for a contract with SGTS Inc. out of Madison to complete a lock rekey upgrade in the jail for a total price of $27,067.53. This is for our detention grade locks, so they're not just your normal house key, they're actually jail locks. During a recent DOC inspection, they really recommended this because staff was having to carry a large quantity of those big keys around. And by doing this rekey, it'll eliminate the amount of keys they have to carry with them at one time. They'll be able to respond to other cells faster. It's going to improve the safety and security. And plus, some of these locks are original from 1982. So it's going to be good to get in there, check them out, and make sure nothing else is failing on them.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Kruger, second by Schmalz, to consider approving a contract with SGTS for a cost of $27,067.53 for the locked rekey upgrade. Any discussion?
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Good idea, yeah. Any further discussion? We'll then proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Will.
Will, before you go away, did you have an issue with the generators yesterday?
I know they were working on them,
They were
but
just
we
in
didn't,
service?
we didn't experience any at least, so.
Okay, because I had a glitch, power outage, and then a little while later, I seen you were working on that generator, so I was wondering if there was some issues.
Yep.
Thanks.
Bet.
Auditor Treasurer's Office.
Good morning.
Morning.
Today I have one item to consider approving the $9,299.10 received from the Office of the Secretary of State and to deposit it into a voter special revenue fund with funds available for expenses directly related to elections annually as authorized by the McLeod County Auditor Treasurer. In 2023 Minnesota Session Law, House File 1830 established the new Voting Operations, Technology, and Election Resources voter account. An allocation of $1.25 million will be made each year by July 20th for expenses directly related to elections. The Office of the Secretary of State will distribute funds to all 87 counties with the following allocation: 20% allocated equally to the 87 counties and 80% allocated based on the proportion of registered voters. Funds may be rolled over from year to year in the account until they are expended. Counties and cities and townships may enter an agreement for distribution of the funds, or there is a distribution formula if no separate agreement is reached. I will be reaching out to the cities and township with a recommendation to save the funds for future technology and/or payment of maintenance agreements, or any broad range of election expenses that it can be used on. So we did receive the funds from the state of Minnesota in July of 2023. As funds may remain in an account until they are expended, I'm recommending creation of the Voter Special Revenue Fund for transparent annual reporting purposes.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
I talked with Connie about this, and I think she's being very, cautious, prudent, whatever you all want to call it, but the money was made available, and I think she's using, there's limitations on what you can use them for, and I think by doing what she's doing, she's keeping them for need that will aid the counties and the townships and cities if that arises. So with that, I move to approve.
Okay, second. We have a motion by Kruger, second by Schmalz, to consider approving the $9,299.10 received by the Office Secretary of State and depositing it into the Voter Special Revenue Fund. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Building maintenance.
Mr. Chair, I'll present.
Okay.
Item A, consider approving a quote from UL to install card access at the new Blanco Area Transportation Services Building, a cost of $8,760 with funds coming from the COVID County Relief Budget and the designated for capital assets budget. UL provide and install card access on 3 exterior doors.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Nagel, waiting for a second.
Second.
We have a second by Luthens to consider approving the quote from UHL for $8,760 for card access at the Glencoe Area Transportation Service Building. Any further discussion at all?
Mr. Chair, I just want to note that Andrew Engel, he can't be here today, but he provided an update on the GATS project and budget. He'll be bringing some items in August, 2 that will be crediting us back, and some that have a small cost, including the one that you just approved, and that barely any of the contingency funds have been used, and that the budget is in good shape thus far. Thank you.
That's a good report. Any further discussion on the motion? Then proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. County Administration, review of calendars. Mr. Nagel?
Sorry. I'll go off the top of my head here. Personnel-related issues. I want to thank Sheila and the rest of the staff and administration and throughout the county. There's been a lot going on. Some leaves that have occurred for good reasons. Bottom line, people are having kids. So it's been really, that's obviously exciting, but also the staff covering and taking over those roles, making sure nothing is dropped, working extra hours and making sure that's all handled. Other than that, some phone calls on some really unrelated issues of the county, but some road issues and fiber issues, but getting those people to the right spot. That's all I have.
Okay. Since our last meeting, I haven't had a lot of, set meetings, but there's been a lot of other just activity kind of wrapped around some of our upcoming projects, especially dealing with the county fair. Commissioner Luthens and I met with superintendents one evening at the McLeod County Fairgrounds in discussion about how to best prepare our site for our potential new building. Did some work with some ditches and some road project questions as well. So that's about it for me.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. While it's fresh in everyone's mind, I'll just ditto what Joe said about some personnel issues and again, with the labor market the way it is, it's kind of a pretty big, it's a fairly good job. We have a good amount of staff working on it, giving us some options, so I guess I'm okay with that, or there's no choice but to be. I had a Central Ditch meeting and a Buffalo Creek meeting on the 25th. The Central Ditch is the ditch directly north of Blanco that flows into the city ponds. I met with Houston Engineering and Buffalo Creek in the city on trying to figure out some remedies on what to do, and that kind of was also discussed at the Buffalo Creek board meeting. I am fairly positive on, at least we're moving with some parts that may help some of that water problem for major events on the north side of town. On the 26th, I had an HRA board meeting here at the Government Center, and the 27th, the agenda review of that with the same as some road issues and some drainage issues. That brings us to today.
Thank you, Commissioner Kruger. I had a light schedule as well the last 2 weeks. On the 18th, we did our county board meeting, and after that, a short workshop. And then that afternoon, I had well-being committee meeting here at the Government Center. And then over the last 2 weeks, I've taken several calls pertaining to the roundabout construction in my district, State Highway 7 and County Road 1. Most of those calls concern the detoured traffic and how to hold our aggregate roads together under the situation that we have. I've had lots of communication with our Public Works Director and also with Winston Township. It seems like we are coordinating efforts as well as we can and keeping the dialogue open to deal with any issues as they arise. That's it for me, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. I attended a Zoom meeting for that National NICO Convention, and our state of Minnesota delegate was nominated to be president of the association. I had the workshop on the 18th. Trailblazer meeting got canceled. Then I had Buffalo Creek too on Tuesday night, 25th, and planning and zoning on the 26th, Wednesday morning. Thank you, sir.
Attorney's Office Administration.
Nothing to add,
Okay, go
Mr.
ahead.
Chair. Thank you. Andrea Matheny will present our first item, item A.
Good morning.
All right, morning.
I just have a couple of items to present. The first one is consider approving an extension for one full-time family health care nurse to be on unpaid medical leave for up to 12 weeks up to 14 weeks. Previously, the board on July 5th, the meeting approved the original 12 weeks unpaid medical leave for one full-time family health nurse. This is a new employee who does not qualify for the Family Medical Leave Act. The employee must have worked at least 1,250 hours during the 12-month period preceding the leave. Approving this unpaid leave secures a position for our current full-time employee.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I just want to add that our personnel policy requires Human Resources or administration to come and present this to the board when there's an extension, as long as the supervisor is in support and that the county can handle the staffing needs that are caused when someone does leave. So you did approve it, and for us to just be formal, we wanted to bring it to the board for the extra 2 weeks. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
I'm fine with it, just, I guess as long as we're just following the rules that we need to overall, so I'll move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Nagel, is there a second? Second by Kruger, to consider approving the extension for one full-time family health care nurse. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I gathered my thoughts. We want to support our employees, and whenever possible, we want to do this. Maybe we can't always do it, but when we can, we want to make sure we take care of them. So in this case, we can.
Okay, Commissioner Kruger?
Yes, I'm kind of repeating what Joe said, but in this market, I'm not always, and I get questioned about this, but in this job market, of trying to find employees, again, we have a good staff that are pretty much full-time looking for good employees. It's just something that is necessary in today's world, and with that, I mean, there've been time, I'm an old guy, so years ago I would've just shook my head, but I mean, it's a necessary thing to do, trying to keep our staff full, so with that, I will be supporting the motion.
Okay. Good comments. Anything else? Board? All right, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the second one that I have is consider from the Personnel Committee to recommendation of approve 8 weeks of unpaid medical leave for one full-time technical specialist in our recorder's office. This leave is also for a new employee who does not yet qualify for the FMLA, and the supervisor has approved this one as well.
Second.
Motion by motion by Nagel, second by Kruger to consider the Personnel Committee recommendation. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna repeat myself, but the same thing stands for this as it did in item A.
Okay. Any further comments? We'll then proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item C, notification of Renville, Sibley, McLeod Joint Drainage Authority public hearing on 2 petitions for partial abandonment of judicial ditch 15. The Drainage Authority will hear public comment regarding the partial abandonments in the Commissioner's Room of the Renville County Government Services Center at 105 South 5th Street in Olivia, Minnesota on Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023, at 2:00 p.m. Item D, notification of McLeod-Renville Joint Drainage Authority public hearing on the petition for partial abandonment of sub-branch 4 of Branch 4 of Joint Ditch 4. The Drainage Authority will hear public comment regarding the partial abandonment here in the Martin McLeod Boardroom, McLeod County Government Center at 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota, on Friday, September 8th, 2023 at 9:00 a.m. Item E, notification of McLeod Drainage Authority public meeting to discuss upcoming repairs of County Ditch 18. The Drainage Authority will hear public comment on upcoming repairs in the Martin McLeod Boardroom, McLeod County Government Center, here at 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota, on Tuesday, September 12, 2023 at 9:00 a.m. Those items are on our calendar on our website if you need to reference them. Item F, notification of board workshop following our board meeting on Tuesday, August 15, 2023, here at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna emphasize the number of notifications here on public hearings and ditch meetings, and I'm glad, Sheila, you reminded everyone it's on our website, but I know come up to the time and everybody's gonna say they didn't get notified, or something's gonna be an issue, and I would encourage, these are all fairly important issues, and I would just emphasize that if you have if you know about it and your neighbor maybe doesn't, you know, we can't make our good decisions without input from the public and constructive input. So with that, thanks.
Okay, thank you. I believe that completes our action items for the day, so we're moving on to open forum or press relations. So is there anyone joining us today that would wish to comment? Okay, we'll be moving on then to looking for a motion to recess.
I so move.
Okay, we have a motion by Luthens. Is there a second? Second. We have a second by Schmaltz to recess until our next county board meeting, 9 a.m. Tuesday, August 15th at the McLeod County Government Center. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We'll wait a couple minutes and begin our workshop agenda.
Mr. Chair, I just want to note that if anyone is in attendance for the item that was removed, the county road field approaches, Randall Thalman asked for that to be added. He was not available today. Andrew Engel is out, expecting the arrival of his second child. Congratulations to him, and hopefully today goes great. So we do not have a date of when that will be added, and if it is, it will be noted on a future workshop agenda. Thank you.
Mr. Chair and Sheila, I think we have one or people or so here. We can just touch on it, on what's coming up, but I agree with you.
I would ask that it's removed as we noted, because Andrew Engel had Eric Gunek not come because.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah, so we thought that it was removed yesterday, so the relevant staff is not here. So if there are any items, would it be possible for them to be sent to us? Since we notified the staff that it was removed, because our staff would be here otherwise.
Right, and we needed to, just to be clear, we needed to have Mark here as well, because there seems to be zoning ordinances there that need to be reviewed. I realize there are issues that are legitimate, but there isn't a lot we can do about it.